Okay, we're here to talk about how you might be an independent consultant your way. And for those of you listening in, we have Melissa here, and she has done this for a long time in her way and helped a lot of people. Like, do you even know how many people you've helped?
Oh, I wish I need to go back and count. It's so fun.
It's
I would
hundreds, though,
say it's
right?
in the hundreds of people I worked with directly, like
Yeah.
multiple hundreds. But I also have a podcast and the people I hear from and a book. And so the people that I hear from that say, "Oh, I launched my business. I'm on chapter 7, and you've made such a big difference." That means everything to me. Yeah.
Yeah. So for all the people listening who are like, oh, I want to have tiered offers and I need to have something affordable for people, you don't. You can just have great free stuff and then charge what you need to charge to make your life work.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
download my book for free. To your point, it's all about, to me, I get that question a lot. Should I, how much free things should I give away or whatever? I'm like, I like giving most all
Everything.
of it away for free. I don't even think about that. What should I hold back? I never think about that.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. So why don't will you tell people who you are and what you do before we just get to the good part?
Yeah, that's right. We're just dive in.
Yeah.
I am Melissa Liberman. I am a business coach for independent consultants. I've been an independent consultant myself for the last almost 14 years, which is insane, which is longer than I was. Now I've passed that threshold of having been out of corporate longer than I was in corporate. And
Congrats.
yeah, that's what I do. I absolutely love helping consultants to be successful in their businesses. So many of them are the ones that I work with are so good at delivering for their clients, and they know exactly how to help their corporate clients achieve the results that they're looking for. And they're, really students of their own professions. But when it comes to running a business, that's the piece that they've never really fully been responsible for.
Hmm.
And so I love helping them to be successful on that side so that they don't have to wrestle with that question, should I go back to corporate or keep doing this? They get to stay where they want to be.
Moving beyond that question. And it's such a painful question that stalls people out,
Yeah, absolutely.
being in that
Absolutely.
negotiation.
That's right. And sometimes I still think about it. Maybe it'd be easier to go work at Starbucks or, whatever the thing is, right? But it's not something is getting them past that point where you're constantly wondering what's going to be more secure or stable is
Hmm.
so freeing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So take us back 14 years ago then.
Mm.
Did you jump into this knowing how to be a good consultant? What was the business uh roadmap for you in the beginning?
Absolutely not. I didn't even do this on purpose. And I think that happens for so many consultants. I call myself an accidental consultant. I resigned from my company that I helped to start. And because my husband had a job opportunity or an opportunity to go back to school in Hawaii. It might sound crazy, but it was a very difficult decision. I truly didn't want to move to Hawaii. If I kind of felt like a punishment. I know that sounds ridiculous now, or who doesn't want to move to Hawaii? But I was on this corporate path, on this corporate ladder, and I didn't want to give it up. But we made a family decision and I resigned. And luckily, the CEO accepted my resignation and said, "Will you stay on as a management and strategy consultant?" And quite frankly, at the time, I never considered myself smart enough, old enough, experienced enough to be a consultant. And but I said yes, of course. It was a great opportunity and bridge from where I'd been working, and I didn't want to not work anymore in some form or capacity. So that's what I started. But at the time, and probably for the first 4 years or so, I didn't think of myself as a business owner. I didn't ever. I always thought about it as like, how can I fill the next a project was ending, so how do I backfill that? And
Hmm.
how to and I thought about it as more just generating some extra cash.
Hmm.
And so I was operating it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's interesting that somebody else threw you the belief that it like could even happen and you just grabbed it and ran with it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then at some point you had this identity shift of I'm an owner.
Yes.
Like, what was the difference? what do you think is the main difference between someone who's just like, oh, I can do this consulting thing, they're paying me money, to I'm an owner and I'm taking care of my clients?
Yeah, I think that shift is so important to make. And I think we don't realize it. I didn't realize it. I didn't make that shift intentionally. But looking back, I think the difference is when you get to that place, like for me, I think it was the point at which we moved back from Hawaii to Colorado, and my old CEO started calling me, old colleagues started calling me, wanting me to come, because now I was in proximity. And
Mhm.
so they wanted me to come back and start working. And I remember I was standing right by our mailbox at the time, like it's such a distinct memory
Yeah.
of should I, am I going to go back to corporate or can I make this successful? And am I going to which path am I choosing? And
Yeah.
I knew I kept getting these things of, well, come back, we'll let you work part-time, or come back and you only have to drive up to Denver once a week. I knew that that wasn't true. Even if
Yeah.
they thought it would be, it would not stick. And
Yeah.
so I made that conscious decision. I'm never going back. And so what does it look like now to ramp up and make what I'm doing more successful? And at the same time, I remember another distinct memory was I was working with these clients on projects and really kind of it was whiplash. Like they were always asking me, can you hop on a call? Can
Mm.
you can you meet in an hour? And I realized that I was essentially operating like an employee, and not really as someone who was calling the shots working with a client. I
Mm.
remember my kids were in the back seat of my car. We were driving back from the pool and my client needed like an emergency meeting. And the kids were screaming. I pulled to the side of the road. It was a street, not a road, not the highway. Pulled to the side of the street. I had my laptop on the hood of the car and I'm trying to have a meeting with the client so they can't hear my kids screaming in the car. And that was another really defining moment where I said, I can't keep operating like this at the every whim of a client. I need to start thinking about this differently so that I help the client know how we work together.
Yeah. What I love about this story is that you made two decisions.
Mm,
You made two distinct
yeah.
decisions,
Yeah.
and the words you use were really powerful. I'll never go back,
Mm, yeah.
which leaves very little room for waffling,
That's right. There's no
right?
more. Yeah. We're not
Yeah.
making that decision anymore. It's over. Yeah.
Is that something?
Yeah.
Because I agree. Like I think that it's those quiet moments with ourselves that actually change everything,
Mm,
and we have to have them. But if we're like in a role and consistently looking to the outside world to take better care of us, and like staying in the negotiation of living in multiple identities and multiple worlds at once, it's really
yeah.
hard.
It's really hard. It's
Yeah.
really hard. Yeah.
So are you ever going to work for someone else again as an employee?
No. And listen, I've said never do things before. I said I would never have kids. I have three. So I get that things could change. I'm open to them changing, but I truly don't see any path that goes back to me working for anyone ever
Yeah.
again.
Right. And I'm always like, until circumstances change. Like my mind is made up until circumstances change in a way that I would have a new belief around it. But I think
Yeah.
it's so helpful that you made these really firm choices.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because then you're not playing things off of each other. When
Mhm.
I'm working with clients and they're wondering and questioning it, will I be successful? Then they end up spending an hour, sneakily spending an hour or two looking for jobs when they could have been spending that time, working on generating leads for their consulting business. So it's even though it might not seem very costly to not put a stake in the sand, it really is.
No, it's super
Yeah.
expensive. Energetically, I think being
Mm.
undecided is so draining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you ever use this tool? I sometimes do this with people like, it's okay if you want to not be fully decided, but we're going to go as if you are until
Mm.
like put some date on your calendar for 6 weeks, 3 months, 6 months down the road. Like, but you're not going to waver until then.
Yes.
Like, we're going to put that out there. And then anytime you're pulled into thinking, maybe I'm not going to do it, it's like, nope, I'm committed at least until that date. Then I'll renegotiate.
I love that strategy so much. One of the details within that strategy that I love is the phrase "We're not doing that today." It's like
Yes.
today we're not doing that today.
Not today,
We
Satan.
that's right. We quote unquote we decided that we're going to go all in on this business model for the next 6 months. Like you said, give yourself a window, and then that doubt or redecisioning start dialogue starts creeping up, we're not doing that today.
hmm
Yeah,
I love it. Good. Okay. Everybody steal that.
that's right.
Okay. So I think there's a lot of identity shifts, but one that I want to talk about, what's the one for you with consultants that feels like kind of like getting to that 51% where everything can
Mm,
kind of tip over and then work with some greater ease? What's
yeah.
that one for your people?
I think that there's so many, right? But
hmm
the identity shift is when you start thinking of yourself as a business owner
Yeah.
and
I
not
think
as
that
an
too.
employee, not
Yeah.
as a contractor, not as a extra pair of hands. Yeah.
Yeah. I call it's like the taking ownership moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the sooner people can do that, the better.
I love that way of describing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I also think that there is, I guess I have a lot of reverence for
Mm,
that moment that someone is like, this is my thing and I've got this. And
yes.
it's my job to show up this way. And from that moment on, it's like there's like the buck does stop with you. You don't have to think anyone else needs to come save you. Like there's a lot of things that shift when that kind of ownership is taken.
There's so much courage. It might sound simple, right? Oh, I decided to start a consulting business. Or, sometimes people put consulting on their resume in between when they're in between roles. But like you're saying, it takes an incredible amount of courage to say, this is what I've decided to do and I'm responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah. And
That's
it's
why
also incredibly freeing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that's part of why people talk about business being such a personal growth journey is because you
Mm.
really do have to make these choices that feel courageous, aka feel like shit in the moment and
That's right.
when you have to back it up, but make
That's right.
everything different.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When's the last time, I kind of want to hear from both of us. When's the last time you did something really courageous in your practice?
Uh, that's a great question. It's actually recently. For a long time, worked one-on-one with clients. I still do. I love working one-on-one with clients. I love getting to know them, getting to really be embedded in their business. And in a way, I was rebelling a little bit about from the rules of, once you create this really successful one-on-one practice, then you should scale and smart people scale and scaling requires you to have a group. And if I think there's some ideas in the coaching world that if you don't have a group, you're sort of less than the other
Mhm.
coach. So all of these thought processes, I think I rebelled against for a long time. But recently I decided, you know what, rather than just sort of being obstinate, maybe I will test them out and see if I like them. So I
Do
did
you have a
that.
group?
I have two groups now. One I call the lead gen sprint. So this is a 6-week sprint for independent consultants, helping them to fill their pipeline of potential clients and also to have a framework and methodology that they can continue to leverage to, fill their pipeline when they need to ramp it up and then just keep it going so there's no feast or famine. So that has been really fun creating
Yeah.
a methodology, pulling together what I teach one-on-one clients, but in a much more crisp way. That's
hmm
been so much fun. I did one in September and absolutely loved it. So I'm doing another in January.
That
And
sounds really valuable.
yeah, it's so much fun. It's so
hmm
much fun. And then I've also started a mastermind, which is invite only from past clients. And, I think instead of launching all these things and making them super complicated, I just sent out some emails to past clients and told them I missed them and would love to work with them if they want to spend some time together in the new year and have filled the mastermind that way. And it's been really fun. Yeah, so I'm excited to get that going in January.
Talk to me about the role of fun in your business because it seems like you're having it. And
Uh,
I always think of it as such a good business building tool.
It's weird that I say that because I actually for a long time didn't value fun. Fun
I
actually
know.
seemed counter to business, so you're
Uh-huh.
probably picking up on this, right? Yeah, when someone's having fun, they're not being serious, I think was my past thought process about it.
Hmm.
You should be serious to be successful.
Right.
But
It's
I
serious business.
That's right. That's right. But I think I'm probably still evolving to the point of knowing of thinking of fun as a strategy, but this is taxing work, like mentally taxing, energetically taxing, uh time consuming at times.
Calendar
So
consuming. Yeah.
calendar consuming, fun. I, I'm hesitating here.
I know. You're really
But
talking around it. You're not very
that's
comfortable with
right.
this yet. It's okay.
I am not comfortable with it yet, but I truly love it so much. Like it doesn't feel like I'm forcing myself to come into my office and work on the business. And the part that's fun is seeing clients get results and for
Yeah.
them to, have aha moments or breakthroughs and for them to feel like this is a lasting business model. So that's fun to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes
What's
me think
fun to
about,
you?
I'm thinking about those stages of change, that
Ah,
unconscious incompetence, the
mm,
conscious incompetence,
yeah.
the and like once you get through into unconscious competence, that's where fun can really land. There's more room
Mm,
for it because
yeah.
your conscious mind isn't all trapped up in like, how do I generate leads? You're like,
Right.
how, and then it's like, how can I generate leads while also having fun? Like to me, it just seems
Mm.
like it's made your offers better.
Yeah. I love that way of thinking of it too, because it seems very pragmatic and like it's an evolution or a growth, not
It is
a,
a growth, yeah.
yeah, not
It's not
something
you
you're
taking
doing.
off into left field. It's you being, it's having some mastery and like ownership, and then
Hmm.
being able to bring in other like different energetics, I guess, around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Congrats.
great new way of thinking of it. I love
Yeah.
it.
But let's think about some other kind of strategies that you help people with. Like before we hit record, you
Mm,
were talking about how do we help people consider mindset not just something they do, but an
mm.
actual strategy in their practice.
Yeah, I think it falls into the same category as fun. For a long time, especially working in corporate, I don't remember ever a conversation around anyone's mindset ever. Maybe once or twice without those words being used. But so when I first started realizing this was a business that I wanted to grow and to be successful, started diving into a lot of this personal development world, which I had loved, secretly. Even when I was in middle school, I would listen on the radio every night to like those chat. There used to be these call-in shows where people would talk about their problems, and this
Totally.
person on the radio would, I've always loved that kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so when I got to the point where I wanted to turn this into a true business, I started diving into personal development and so much of this mindset talk. I started realizing that this whole mindset world, and to me, it was sort of a nice to have or something very fluffy and
Mm.
almost something to keep secret, like my secret obsession.
Like your guilty pleasure is
My
doing
guilty
mindset work.
pleasure. Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so I always saw them as two separate things. I'm growing the business, and what is my strategy and what are my processes and what is my approach? And then separately, what is this sort of secret guilty pleasure, like you were saying, that was mindset. And at some point I realized that they needed to be merged together, and that mindset truly I started coming around because I started seeing the results from it. When I started thinking about myself as a business owner, when I started giving myself credit for what I had accomplished in the past, even though it was in a corporate setting instead of in a consulting setting, and started shifting my mindset, really helped me repair the confidence. I would say complete shattered confidence that happened for me when I left corporate and lost my title,
Hmm.
and all of the structures and ways of operating that I lost. To rebuild that confidence
Hmm.
was all because of mindset. And that's what I see with consultants as well, is we oftentimes we think, well, if I can just get the right business model defined and know what to do for lead gen and have a good routine in place, I'll be successful. But when it's operated off of a ineffective mindset, as we know, it's makes it so much harder or almost impossible. So
Yeah,
yeah, to me, mindset is uh, honestly 80% of the game.
80%.
Yeah.
It certainly can speed everything up. I'm thinking because
Yeah.
my daughter is supposed to be on antibiotics right now,
Mm,
but I haven't been able to get her to swallow a pill yet.
mm.
And it is 100% mindset. And you
Yeah.
can see what she's thinking. She's thinking, I can't do this. This is
Mm.
going to hurt. I'm not going to be able to swallow it. Like all these. And I'm coaching her through this. And it's like, the only problem that you have is how you're thinking about this. And then she's like, oh, my brain. And I'm like, but you're in charge of your brain, right?
Right.
So like, how do we help people slow everything down when they think I just need a new client, I just need a new
Yes.
client, and I have all this work to do, and I can't take a break, and I can't slow down. But how do you slow people down enough to do the mindset work, or to even put some value on it so they could get the benefit, at
Yeah.
least in the beginning?
Yeah. I mean, I think first they have to be somewhat receptive to it. I have a client, one past client, who no matter, he was so in his head about all of this that the idea of slowing down and working on mindset felt like a distraction or something that was like you were just, kind of alluding to that this could be done later. We've got more important things to do, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so helping just constantly pointing out like look at the way you're looking at this right now. Let's just take a minute and take a step back and talk about how you might be thinking if you've already accomplished this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or even more so taking it out of their own head, and let's talk about how a business owner who this isn't an issue for might be thinking about this, and
Mm-hmm.
helping them to see the vast difference. As a very tangible example is oftentimes I get the pushback like the economy isn't good right now. No one's buying consulting, or for nonprofit consultants, the government,
Right.
all of the government regulations and strategies have changed and the funding has changed. There's
Mm-hmm.
no work out there. And that can be true on a macro level, but looking at it in a more micro level, helping them to see if you're going about this thinking that there's no work out there, that all the rules have changed, the your ability to even see what's available or see what others aren't seeing is
Mm-hmm.
shut off. And so
Yeah.
helping them with those types of tangible ways of looking at it, I think can be valuable.
Yeah. Are you going to put your efforts into fighting for the limits or fighting for what's possible?
Yeah.
And I think that's always a choice. And choice is where we feel powerful.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you fighting for your limitations? Yeah,
Yeah. Are you fighting to be the person who can swallow the pill or not?
that's right.
Yeah. Who do you want to
That's
be?
right. There's someone in this world who's swallowing the pill.
Kids do it
So, do
every
you
day,
want to be the
apparently.
one? Yeah, or not? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. So mindset is a strategy. To
Yeah.
me, that's what people mean when you hear them say in a very confusing way for a lot of us, like,
Mm,
you got to slow down to speed up. That's
yeah.
what I think they're saying is work on your mindset. Slow down
Mm.
enough to understand where you're coming from and how you're thinking and what that's motivating so that you are using intention versus reaction.
Yeah, I never thought about attaching that sentence to it, but we hear that phrase all the time.
I'm
Slow
pretty sure
down to
that's what it
speed up.
means.
I think it does,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think a lot of times people think, well, I should slow down and make a website, or I should slow down and perfect this,
Hmm.
this LinkedIn profile, when
Yeah.
really it's even one step before that of how are you thinking as you approach those, whatever
Yeah.
the tasks are.
Yeah. Totally. Okay. Um, I wrote down the note anti-logic. What do you think I meant
Mm.
when I wrote that down? We were going to talk about something related to it's not logical.
It's not logical. I don't know. I think for those of us who are very analytical brains, maybe it's hard to sometimes see that this type of work is valuable, important, and almost required to be successful when
Hmm.
we are so in the business of looking at data and facts and figures and even, when you think about, sometimes I have consultants who come to me and say, is there a market for what I do?
Mm,
And that would be the logical path to answering that, to starting a business. Is there a market? You probably, as a consultant, a lot of times you do a market analysis, right? Or a
mhm,
competitive analysis. But I always say, I don't think that's the right question. The question is more, in this case, maybe the anti-logic is, how could I make a market? How could I be successful with what I want to do and the types of clients that I want to land? Because
mhm.
especially in consulting, we're working on landing a handful of clients a year,
Right.
one,
Yeah.
two, five,
Yeah.
maybe half a dozen. But
Right.
we're not looking to build a business with thousands of clients. And so a lot of times the types of questions we're just used to asking ourselves, especially in a corporate environment, or what we think is the right way to do business, is not helpful.
Well, and you have to withstand so much more patience.
Mm,
Like if you need five
yeah,
clients a
that's
year,
right.
if you're signing $200,000 contracts and you need three clients a year and you're fully booked, how do you help people? And what is the mindset of like, I have made three sales this year, right?
That's right.
That's not very many sales.
No, you're right. It takes a lot of trust
Hmm.
in themselves. It takes a lot of patience. And I like changing the circumstances a little bit too, of, doing a mix of services. So you're selling some quick hits,
Get
easy
the
to
dopamine.
implement. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of dopamine, maybe a couple of those a quarter, so that you do have some quick hit revenue mixed in with longer term
Hmm.
engagement pillar clients, I call them. So you've got kind of that mix of both, some pillar
Love it.
clients that feel like security, and also some shorter term engagements that can create relationships with new clients and create a little bit of dopamine along the way.
A good strategy.
Yeah.
What do you think for people who are independent consultants listening, or if this gets forwarded to them? Like, what are you hopeful about for your clients and for their potential in the world right now?
Yeah. There's so much opportunity. AI is changing things so rapidly. Sometimes people are concerned that's going to, move them out of a job. But I see it as, this is the time where all the rules are being shaken up, and
Hmm.
the way of working is changing so rapidly. And so for those of us who are brave enough to go into this type of business, start this type of business, commit to this type of business, figure out how to make it work,
Hmm.
we have so much opportunity. And that's what I just love, evangelizing this way of working. It's amazing to be able, for moms to be able to take the summer off with their kids and work 9 months out of the year, and replace their corporate salary and make even more than they were making.
Hmm.
And to be able to think about the way of working in a different way really requires just a simple commitment and belief that you can create as much security or more than you had when you're working in your corporate role.
Yeah. Yeah. So some feelings are popping up for me as like,
Mm,
here's what we have to embrace, which proves your point of 80% mindset. So I
mm,
hear
mm.
belief, courage, bravery, commitment, and trust.
Yeah.
Like you want to have a successful business, you have to have those things. And I'm wondering about the
Yeah.
difference in if you, like you back in your corporate job or myself in my last job,
Mm.
what were the primary emotions we had to have to stay employed? I'm curious what the difference is between these two
Oh,
lists.
that's an excellent question. As you are known for, Karin, asking amazing questions.
So if we both go
Ah,
back there and we're back in our last jobs, what did we have to trust and believe to stay in that employee mode?
yeah, I mean the biggest one I'm thinking of is tolerance at the at the moment.
Right. Because you
Like
hear
just
some
being able to
people
tolerate.
complain.
Yeah.
Tolerance. I had a really great job. I think both of us really liked our last jobs,
Mm,
which is a different thing for some people who end up as consultants and
yeah,
have their own business.
that's right. That's right. Although mine was getting fairly toxic toward the end there, but
Yeah.
with a new CEO and a lot of changes after we had private equity buy us out. But I think
One of the words for me
yeah,
is like,
gra-
it's not like the opposite of choice, but like I didn't get to choose.
yeah,
And what even is that word? It was like the agenda was somebody else's instead
mm,
of mine.
acceptance,
Yeah.
abdication. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
think acceptance fits more.
acceptance.
So tolerance, acceptance. I had to have trust over there too.
Yeah. I think for me, this word tolerance keeps coming back of
Yeah.
just a high tolerance for change, a high tolerance. So that's not an emotion, maybe, but having a high
Skill set.
capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
Yeah.
capacity for things to change, for, uh, for people to be angry and to navigate through that, for
Hmm.
conflicts.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
There's less agency.
Yes.
I can't it's like I can't think of negative words
I
for some
know.
reason, but I do think like for us, for everybody listening, like it is a big identity shift because if we are every single day using our mindset to tolerate things, to accept things, to trust other people's way, to get like to not need to bring our agency to work in a way, in
Hmm.
certain
In
ways, and
certain
then we're
ways.
moving to a place of where we're the basically creating and innovating all the time. We have to believe, be courageous and brave, and trust so much and be so
Mm,
committed to what we decide to commit to. Like at work, someone tells you what to commit to, and then your
yeah,
own business, you decide what to commit to. And it's really different.
it's very different. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I remember the we would get these numbers every year. Or every quarter, the CEO, especially every year, but even down to the quarter, the CEO would just decide we're going to make this much revenue this year. I'm like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Based on
That's the
what?
most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
And then
And I
everybody
was
goes to work and works their faces off to try to make it happen. It's
That's
hilarious.
right. But I kind of had built a brand in corporate of being the skeptic. Like, okay, let's tell them all the reasons why this won't work. And let's make this more realistic. And let me poke holes in what the sales reps are saying because they are always inflating things. So
Uh-huh.
I had kind of made a brand for myself in that way around being the skeptic, to help make not make things more realistic because the CEO would never make things more realistic, but to help create a more a solid plan around how we were
Mhm.
going to accomplish these goals.
Yeah.
And and that doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. Being the skeptic is not a helpful approach to running a business. It's the opposite. And I think it's kind of that skeptic that can slow us down so much when we bring that over to the from corporates
Mhm.
to running a business. If you're skeptic, you end up changing your own numbers and whatever your target is and trying to make it realistic and under earning or under
Yeah.
taking on unfulfilling work.
But I think the reason to be a skeptic is because you don't want to have to feel the feelings of potentially not hitting the goal,
Oh, totally.
right?
Yeah,
Because then it's all on
absolutely.
you. So it's like if
Yeah,
I'm a skeptic
absolutely.
and I set lower goals because it's quote unquote realistic, then I don't have to feel disappointment or failure or whatever.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
man, we learn a lot more when we set crazy ass goals and fail at them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that consultants do so often is I ask them, I tell them before I meet with them, I'm going to ask you your revenue goal. And then I ask them on the call and they say, I don't know. Or I don't even know what to base this off of. Or they base it off of
Yeah.
their corporate salary. Or,
Yeah.
they base it off of, like you said, what feels safe.
Hmm.
And helping consultants to see you could set any goal you want. And also, I like to teach the concept of compound goals. Let's set a goal for your revenue and how much you want to work. So it doesn't feel like you're making
Hmm.
trade-offs or you're going to have to overwork to accomplish the goal. Let's make both of them happen.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we're all motivated in different ways too.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
For my last like curiosity, I
Mm.
just want to, after everything that we've talked about and it's turned up for you, like what is either a stake in the ground you want to put, a
Mm,
homework assignment you would want to give people, or just a reflection that you have at this point in our conversation?
yeah, I think looking back, looking ahead to the business and taking it from a different lens of possibility
Mm-hmm.
could be a fun homework assignment to say, okay, let's separate out. I wonder what all the rules are that I've been governing myself that I built up over the course of time, whether it's from corporate experiences or just life in general.
Mm-hmm.
If I could really pinpoint what are those rules that I think are just the way the world works, and I put those aside and I look at the what I want to create in my business and what that looks like from a revenue perspective, what that looks like from the type of work that you're landing, what that looks
Mm-hmm.
like from how many days a week you're working or hours a week you're working. You don't have to work 40 hours a week anymore. You don't have to work 12, months with a couple weeks of vacation here or there. You get to make up everything. So revisiting the entire plan that you have and what you want to goals you want to set and what you want to bring to life, I think could be a really fun homework assignment.
It sounds to me like some audacity is required for that one,
Yes, that's a
right?
good one too. Yeah.
Like be audacious just for fun. And I like to remind my own brain, like, it's okay. We don't have to do anything that I come up with, but like, we're just going to go play and see like what might be possible. And then we'll commit to what we choose to commit to. But you have to give yourself enough space to play in the possibility.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a great approach. We don't have to follow through with any of this. We're going to
No one's
just
going to get their feelings
that's
hurt.
right. That's
You're not
right.
too big for your britches. Like, let's
Yeah.
just see. Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too. Okay. I love this conversation. It's reminding me of a lot of things. I think your homework assignment that you just gave folks, if you are listening and you didn't realize that was your homework assignment, it is,
Mm.
um, reminds me of just something I've been noticing in myself and also in my clients recently, which is like some of us miss how naive we were in the
Mm,
beginning when it was easy to set big audacious goals because we had no sense of reality either. So there
right.
was no part of us who could come in and be like, well, the reason that might not be very good for you is X, Y, and Z. Because now we have all this experience, all this understood knowledge in ourselves. I almost have 16 years of experience in this particular business. And it's like, I know a lot that can get in my way.
Yeah.
So it is important to brush all that aside every once in a while and remember what it feels like to like be vulnerable with your own dreams with yourself and for yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think so too.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think
And I
the
know
other
you're good
piece
at
of
that.
that naivete also is on one hand, we don't know what all the road bumps ahead might be. And on the other hand, I think maybe we don't give ourselves enough credit in the very beginning about what it is we're capable of.
Truth. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Totally. I love this conversation.
I do too. It's so good to catch up with you, Karin.
Yeah.
And
You too. Thank you for being here.
thanks for having me.
Can you tell people, like, I know you have a podcast and you have a book, like, where do you want people to go to learn all about you?
Mm. You can go to my website. It's melissaliberman.com, which my name is missing all sorts of letters. I will put the link in the show notes, I would assume.
Yep.
Uh, and if you go to my website, you'll find a free book that you can download. It's called Grow Your Consulting Business, a 14-step roadmap to bring your independent consulting goals to reality. There's also the link to my podcast, which is called Grow Your Independent Consulting Business, and also links to my coaching and the lead gen sprint.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And how
Yes.
many episodes have you done on your podcast now?
Oh, mine is overdue. It was due yesterday, episode 252. So I've got to record that today.
So you've been at this a while. Yeah.
Yes, I
Awesome.
have. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for being here and everybody. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I know I did.
I did too. Thanks, Karin.
Thank you, Melissa, for being here. Again, we've got her stuff linked up in the show notes. My takeaway from that conversation is really that mindset is 80% of it. And I think if we keep our nose down and we're just working away and doing the tasks, task after task, crossing out those lines on our to do list, The mindset is the periscoping up. It's remembering why we're doing what we're doing. It's connecting us to the work in a way it can give us capacity that we don't have if we're just keeping our nose down. So don't forget to get your head up, look around, remember who you are, remember why you do what you do. And if Melissa or I can help you, we both do that work. We help people get that perspective and change those identities into an identity of ownership, of one that you can use for yourself, to do the work that you're here to do in amazing and beautiful ways, and even access some of that fun and ease we were talking about. So, if either of us can help you, I hope you'll reach out. All right. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you for listening. If you know a friend who's an independent consultant, please feel free to forward that episode to them. Thank you.